Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's recap of The Bachelorette.
It's hometown dates!
Oh, and it's down to the final four.
Oh, Lord.
Jeremy, Jesse, Jason, and Graham.
Which one of these is not like the other?
So, first it was time for Jesse's hometown date in Breckenridge, Colorado.
He's got some mad snowboarding skills.
Yeah, he does.
They are crazy.
So he decided to give DeAnna a snowboarding lesson, and it was crazy cool.
That was like 100% fun.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, he gave her this piggyback ride while he was on his snowboard. It was crazy.
So then he took her to his house where he lives alone.
Right.
And I thought it was nice.
It was an awesome house. I think there was just a little too many snowboards on the walls,
It was tiny, but it was cool.
Yeah, and she saw the sign above his sofa for JSAK, the foundation he started for just snowboarding ambitious kids.
It's cool.
I would have been impressed, and I was.
Uh-huh. And DeAnna also noticed that he had labels everywhere.
He's a little anal when it comes to
Yeah.
organization and such.
That's cool.
So his mom and dad showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And his dad's got a sense of humor because he totally had on a hat with fake hair attached.
Yeah, his parents were really cool.
Yeah. I think they were the most real out of all of the family that showed up for this episode.
So
he's not ready to get married in 2 weeks.
The show is only like 6 weeks long, I think.
I know. But he was the only one who hasn't kissed her yet. And he took her on a romantic carriage ride where they had their make-out time. Right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't like sled and horse.
Finally made the move.
Thank God. He really deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
So up next was Jeremy in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, so he shows up on his motorcycle and he's like, "You want to ride?" I thought it would be really funny if she was like, "No, I don't. I think it's dangerous."
She looked so uncomfortable on the back of that motorcycle with the 4-inch heels. It looked like her knees were up around her ears.
They were.
So they got to his house, and it was a townhouse, but it was huge on the inside. It had like a 2-story living room.
And he lives there alone with his dog.
The coolest dog almost in the world.
Yeah.
He was really a good dog. They act like they're practically married already. Out of the 4 that are left, I think she has the strongest connection with him, although I'm secretly rooting for Jesse. So
they looked at picture albums of his family and his parents, and that was really emotional.
What was even more emotional was they read the diary that he had kept from the last week his mom was alive. That was really, I was like, oh,
yeah,
that is so sad.
So then his 2 brothers and his sister-in-law showed up.
Yes, and Meredith pulled DeAnna aside and had a little private chat with her out on the balcony.
Meredith's the sister-in-law.
Okay, so I need some dirt on him. He's too perfect.
So perfect.
It's too perfect.
Yeah.
I can't compete with him. He's just too perfect, and I'm like a mess.
I forgot what the dirt was.
There was no dirt.
Okay.
Because he's perfect. You're right. So Jeremy is fooling himself into thinking that he's the only one that's dating DeAnna.
Yeah.
Because the bros were like, how can you deal with it, man?
That's the way that he's opened up so much, because he's thinking, oh, I'm the only one.
And his brothers seem to really care about him. His family seem pretty tight.
Mm-hmm.
And they just want to be there for him. And if she says no, they're going to be there to pick up the pieces.
It was kind of annoying, though, how they were like, we're not on your side. And
yeah. They kind of like ganged up on her.
Yeah.
But after all those brothers and sister-in-law left, there was make-out time by the fire.
Of course. That's how all the hometown dates end.
Well, most of them. Jason, Seattle, Washington.
So they go to the Space Needle, and he's like, you know what this is, right? And she's like,
what's
no.
a Space Needle? What is it? I don't know.
So they realize that they both want 3 kids.
But she wants 3 before she turns 30.
She's 26 right now.
Baby factory.
Yeah.
So they meet up with Tai in the park, Jason's son.
That was so cute when Jason and his son saw each other again.
Yeah. And she brought him a golf ball.
Yeah.
I would have been like, lady, stick
He was like, what's this for?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was nervous about bringing DeAnna to meet his parents because he's only brought like a high school girlfriend and his ex-wife.
Yeah. I don't know. His family seemed a little to me because I thought they were trying too hard.
I don't know.
They made some Greek food for her, and it looked like the stuffed grape leaves that you get from the can, and it was like, those are no good.
At least they tried.
They tried, but they tried too hard, you know? Why didn't they just represent who they were and let him show off who he was instead of trying to be like her? So, Ty got his star.
Yeah, they showed Ty his star, and he was like, what?
Where is it, Daddy? Is it up there? Can we go look for it? Let's go.
So then the whole family got drunk on Ouzo, and they
got a little crazy.
Yeah.
And then they all went outside and had a giant game of leapfrog.
That was kind of weird.
That was really weird. But then it was makeout time. Gotta end with the makeouts.
And then it was time for Jason to leave with DeAnna, and Ty was crying, and I was like,
oh, that was so horrible.
I know. Everyone was crying, actually.
Yeah. I know. I think the other people were crying more than Ty was crying at the end. Well, he's really going to be crying now because it's time for Graham's date.
Yes.
In Raleigh, North Carolina.
So they go to his high school first, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And
he kind of gives her a basketball lesson.
Yeah, basketball session.
And he's like, if I make this shot, what do I get? Did you ever kiss on center court?
He didn't really answer that,
No,
which leads
no
me
comment.
to think, yes.
I think he's done more than that in center court.
Ew, but he didn't make the shot anyway.
So it didn't matter, because
Yeah.
he totally didn't get the kiss.
What team does he play for?
The losers. So it's time to meet the parents. And even they are realizing that Grant is just not ready for a relationship. Graham. Whatever.
Grant is not on the show.
Alright, so they had this weird scene on like a bench.
Yeah.
And it was like, we could just sit and not talk forever and still have things to not talk about.
But then it got too quiet, and
She was getting pissed.
she was like, what's wrong with you? Why wouldn't you open up to me? And he was like, nothing. It's everything.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like, she was like, I feel so comfortable saying nothing with you. But what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Make up your mind, DeAnna. What do you have, bipolar? Whatever? So, why didn't they show his house? Does he not have one? Because he really didn't live at home. Does he live in a cardboard box somewhere?
He lives in the gym, like he said.
I guess so. I guess he won't lie. And he's like Joe Dirt. He lives in the boiler room somewhere. So it's time for the rose ceremony. It's time to wrap this puppy up.
Yep.
First rose. My
Jesse.
main man. That's right.
Sorry.
Next up, Jeremy. So, you know, kids, it's down to Jason and Grant.
And finally, she got rid of Graham and kept Jason. Thank
God. But then he pulls this letter out of the bag and he's like, you could flush this down the toilet, or you could read it, or you could burn it.
If you read it, though.
But this is for nobody else except you. Don't go reading it on no TV show like we are on.
She basically told him that he was the only one that she actually loves. So,
what? Has she been lying to everybody else? Because she was totally like, I think I'm falling in love with you.
Graham's a total dirtbag.
Yeah, he's a baby Brad. He's not even as good as Brad.
She's kind of an idiot.
But next week, we cut the dead weight and it's time for the romantic Bahamas overnight fantasy sweet card dates.
Yay.
And the reunion.
Yay.
So kids, till next week. Much love.